Hello. Good morning. I'm drinking coffee, smoking a cigarette. Hi, how you doing? I'm sure somebody out there would say, "We'll give up cigarettes and you can pay for child support." Could I? Did you do the math? Doesn't make sense, does it? A flat fee. Anybody get a flat fee at Walmart? Anybody get a flat fee at McDonald's? Anybody get a flat fee at work? Or do your hours change? Sometimes you get a day off. Sometimes you get laid off. Sometimes you get fired. It's not always the same, is it? Sometimes the gas prices go up. Sometimes the gas prices go down. It's not always the same, is it? Anywhere. So how do you have this one big thing of money that doesn't match anything else in America? I just don't get it. Or maybe I do. So like I said, there's how we got there, and then there's what today is. And we're doing everything we can to keep people safe in this country. We've all been through this with Boston. We're doing everything we can. We're trying to keep the people safe as fast as we can. But like I said, there's this huge looming financial economic thing. And it's like the TV won't talk about it. The people won't talk about it. And yeah, it's personal. I mean, that's why. Because you start talking about somebody else's money, and you get people that are going, "Hey, that child support, that's my electric bill." Well, it's my electric bill too. And I earned it. I mean, some of the idiocy of child support is, yeah, like, how in the heck am I supposed to provide a good home for my kid when you have my money to pay my bills? Equality. If I earn the same as you do, then we both have the same bills. Try not to set me up. It's as simple as saying stay out of my wallet for the most part. If you want something, ask. Don't just go taking whatever you want. But let's go back. Year 2000. My daughter's born, my oldest. She was born in Minnesota, in Burnsville, Minnesota. On or about 6 months later, we moved to Georgia. I'm not going to get into the personal reasons, but I ended up being a full-time dad, an at-home dad, which at the time, this was, what, 13 years ago? The idea, like child support and our dads having to accept things they didn't want to accept, in my life, the idea that a guy could be an at-home dad and not a lazy some SOB, hell yeah, it was just foreign. You know, I literally had people, as a full-time dad, I literally had women in the post office going, "Do you want me to take her from you?" No, she's just being a bit fussy. I literally had people looking at me like I was the devil incarnate because I was raising my daughter by myself. Like I care. Like my daughter cares. The only thing she cared about was, Daddy protects me. That's all she cared about. Had to screw it up. So that's the year 2000. By 2001, probably about September September, her mom she cheated on me. She didn't want to be married anymore. Whatever. We've all been through that. Well, most of us have. But, and I didn't like it. I mean, you know, you live with somebody, you know. But, I mean, my focus was my kids, my family, and my home. So, and trying to get somewhere decent in this world. So, I mean, I was kind of willing, I mean, it may be stupid, but I was kind of willing to overlook it. I was kind of willing to go, well, she cheated on me, but she'll learn. I mean, I was older than she was. You know, she was 19, 20. I was 24. It's almost like you look at it and go, well, whatever. You know, I mean, yeah, it's stupid, but you'll settle down eventually, hopefully. But, and don't overreact to this, because it's been dealt with. In 1998, maybe, I had what is about a week one-night stand with a woman in Indiana. And she got pregnant. It was a bad situation. I didn't like her. She didn't like me. We didn't know it until after we dated. And I had a son. Now, over the course of the last 20 years, we've agreed. She's got her life. I got mine. I don't want your money. She don't want mine. If anything ever goes wrong, I love the kids too. You can always send them here. That's just the agreement we have. Now, that doesn't change law. That's just personal. That doesn't change law. The money's still the money, and we will get to the money. It's there. But my son was there, and she wanted some DNA test, like this was Jerry Springer. Hey, let's have a DNA test. Woo! Yeah, I think my adopted son might disagree with you. But she wanted a DNA test. Now, my nice little wife, who wanted to leave her husband and loves to watch Jerry Springer, decides she wants to bring that Jerry Springer life into her own. And I'm just a bad man because I don't want to have a DNA test. So Thanksgiving of 2001, we make an agreement. Oh, by the way, a bit of background on my ex-wife. She's Puerto Rican. She's half Puerto Rican. She has family in Puerto Rico. So here's a bit of background. 2001, we go to my mother's house for Thanksgiving, me and my daughter. My ex-wife says, I'm going to go to Minnesota to visit my family, my half Puerto Rican family. I knew something was up. But as a father, your job is to stand there and take care of your kid. Not to play little games, not to talk, not to yada, yada, yada on your cell phone, not to debate it for 20 years, because when your kid's crying, you don't have time to ask questions. You just get up, you feed your kid, you rock them, you put them to bed. You change their diaper when it needs to be changed, you do what you got to do. Simple as that. You don't play games, because your kids are still growing. No time to debate, no time to argue. You see something wrong, you fix it. It's real simple. So here's what she does. Because her and her friends knew I had a son in Indianapolis. So we're in Georgia. Her and her friends knew from Minnesota that she wanted to leave me. Didn't know how she was acting in the house. Didn't know she was cheating on me. They just heard her stories over a phone. Nobody ever lies. A woman never lies. So they decide to make up a little plan I take my daughter to Indianapolis. She's supposed to go to her family from Minnesota to have Thanksgiving and meet me on Thanksgiving Day at my family's house. So what do her friends do? They get me arrested for a DNA test. Now, why a cop can't show up and just swab the inside of my mouth, I don't know. But they got me arrested. So I sat there, because anybody that's ever been to jail knows you go to jail on Thanksgiving, you don't get out till Monday morning. So she shows up at my mother's house. Oh, hi, how are you? Being all nicey-nicey. I call home, talk to her. No, it's fine. I'll be here when you get out, honey. Call back about 4 hours later. Well, she went to the gas station for a pack of cigarettes and we ain't seen her since. Next thing I know, I'm talking to my dad and he says, she's gone. We got a call. She left your car at the airport, hopped on a plane, took your kid. I wait till Monday. Now, let's not even talk about the stress of sitting in jail around those people worrying about your kid, who you've never been away from for more than 48 hours, who just disappeared on a plane. So I get out of jail. She calls my mom's house and says very specifically, if I want to, quote unquote, if I want to, I'll take your kid and you'll never see her again. Thank God gas prices were pretty low. My grandfather gives me $25, and by the way, I already had an attorney on retainer because I knew something was coming. Rush my butt back down to Georgia because that's where we're residents. And I get what's called an ex parte order. Now, ex parte means right now. Right now. Signed by a judge. Hired a private investigator to affirm where my child was. Drove my butt, got a job, made some money. Drove my butt all the way back up to Minnesota with that ex parte order. Now I'm going to pause real quick. Remember that story in Indianapolis about the wife that had the son, or the ex-wife that had the son over in Greece? And he's now being charged with kidnapping because he refused, under an ex parte order from America, to return that child right now. See, I don't totally agree with the way it was done, but I do have a question. And remember how I said I was charged with interfering with a custody order? And I'm not guilty, but signed a little plea bargain because I have a child that's a year old. She'll be 2 shortly, and I don't have time for your BS. I gotta be here for her. So let me get back to this now. I got an ex parte order from Georgia, signed by a judge. Now, don't go getting thoughts in your head about ex parte orders, because not everybody's going to get one. She had family in Puerto Rico. She had already specifically said, I will take your kid and never return her. Everything she's done since then has proven that that is exactly what she was trying to do. An ex parte order. Hire a private investigator. Go up to Minnesota. Got the cops. Gave them all paperwork. And she refused. Who cares why? Judge gives you an order. You don't question why. And refused to hand her to me. That's a felony. That's kidnapping. Right there.